The New York Mets have made multiple moves as it is official. Going into their opening day and their season, we now know what this Mets roster is going to fully look like, as it took them to the 25th hour to make their final decisions on this roster. And if I'm being honest, I do think, as far as working with this organization right now, that they did do a pretty damn good job at it. And we're going to break down exactly how the Mets did a good job, because as we know, this is a team that needed to add some replacements. With AJ Minter not available, who's supposed to be one of the best arms for the Mets when he gets back, but obviously that is when he gets back and not being ready for opening day, the Mets had to find the right guy to put into their bullpen. And on top of that, also, with the way that things are going, they also need to add another utility player for their squad. And we're now seeing the Mets do both those things. Two things that are crucial to having a good baseball team as they continue to get fully healthy and fully on track for a great season, guys. And if you want to stay fully on track for a great season watching the New York Mets, make sure to subscribe. We are less than 200 subscribers away from 7,000 subscribers. It's completely free, and 74% of you haven't done it, despite the fact that we're giving you every single day Mets content. But let's jump into it, guys, because there's a lot to go over, and you guys don't care about that, which, you know, is honestly fair. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you, because look, obviously the Mets had a bunch of tough decisions to make. Up until the very end, there was a lot of talk about who this final roster is going to be, what it's going to look like, how the Mets are really going to make things work, and also if they're going to make the right call. If I'm being honest, it's an interesting year for Carlos Mendoza. Not at all as the man on the hot seat whatsoever. I am not saying that. But another bad year for the Mets. Fingers will start to get pointed at Mendy. And honestly, this is a year where this team looks like they should be as good as anyone, at least in the NL East, but really in the entire National League, if we're being honest with ourselves, with a veteran squad that has a lot of talent around it, and also some great young pieces as well, mainly Carson Bench, but other pieces, Nolan McClain as well. But overall, we have seen the Mets make multiple moves here. Let's dive into them. It was announced that from Anthony DiComo, shout out Anthony DiComo, he did mention that utilityman Jared Young and left-hander Richard Lovelady have won the final two spots on New York's opening day roster. Vidal Brujan, Brian Hudson, and Ben Rortvedt have all been designated for assignment. I do think that DFAing Ben Rortvedt made sense. Look, the Mets have catching. Alvarez is going to be their everyday catcher. Torrens has been on this roster, and he was not going anywhere. There was no need to add another catcher onto this team. I think the Rortvedt move was good. Now, I do think there will be some argument over, should it have been Vidal Brujan over Jared Young? I think that is a fair argument, but Young does play a bit more positions, which is part of this, as well as when we look at Brian Hudson. I do understand why some fans want him more than Richard Lovelady. Now, with Young, Young barely appeared in the league last year. He just did not play a whole lot of baseball in the major leagues. So that obviously is something to totally keep in mind about. Now, Jared Young, who is listed here as a first baseman, but also can play the outfield and can really play wherever. He did have a 186 batting average last year with a 722 OPS. There's a guy who has great raw power. There's no doubt about it. The guy has good raw power overall. We are not going to argue that. Now, the 722 OPS is good, and honestly, the slugging percentage as well to 46 is nice. The man has power. The problem is he can't make contact with a baseball. But we have actually seen this from him. That's the thing. We have seen Jared Young have real power on that bat, which does matter overall. When we look at Jared Young, there's a guy whose barrel percentage, who's finding the sweet spot, and bat speed all showed, along with the slugging, have all been good metrics overall on Baseball Savant. Now, obviously, this was limited, and he struggled to make contact. But if he's hitting that hard, if he can get the contact down, and he's got a decent base running speed and a fine glove, he's honestly someone that Mets fans should be excited about. I'm happy the Mets called in Jared Young. Who's Jared? I'm thinking of Lovelady. With Jared Young specifically, though, he is the right move here. I truly do believe that he was the right move for this team overall. Now, Jared Young in the minors, we did see him play really, really good baseball. 284 at-bats in 2025 in the minor leagues. The man had a 303 batting average and a 969 OPS. He's flashed contact in the minor leagues, which is something to be aware of, because we start to understand, okay, well, there at least is some pathway to him finding the ball. And as long as he does that, all of a sudden, he could become a hidden gem for this Mets team that sticks around the roster, because he gives them a real very actually potentially talented guy for the Mets to have as a utility player, which you love to have. Obviously, we are going to see as well. We're going to see Brett Baty step in and be a utility guy. He's going to play some time in right field. He's going to play a good amount of first base when Jorge Polanco's DHing. We're going to see him DH at times when Jorge Polanco's playing first. We'll probably see him step in at third at times. I mean, obviously, if like any of Semien, Lindor, or Bichette is out, I mean, most likely we're going to see Baty is in. Baty can handle second base. We've seen him do it in the MLB level. And also, if Lindor is out, you could just throw Bichette at shortstop and just put Baty at third, or if, Bichette's out, you just put Baty at third. That one's not really complicated. But overall, it is a very interesting look at things because at the same time, we look at Richard Lovelady. He's someone else to take an eye at here. And overall, the man, he appeared in 10 games last season and had an 8.49 ERA with a 1.54 whip. And I mean, he did a decent job striking guys out, but yikes. Not exactly the ideal pickup for the end of your bullpen. But two things are to be clear here. One, the Mets clearly see something in him, so we'll see how it works out. And who knows? You never know what could happen, especially like just considering the fact that, I mean, he didn't play well in spring training at all. We should be a bit worried. I mean, his career regular season ERA is a 5.35 in 118 games. So maybe the Mets see something in him. They see a fact that at least he can somewhat throw a strikeout. But at the same time, I truthfully do believe that it's just he's a placeholder. And we all know that. Once the Mets really get a good, not acquisition per se, but once they do have that chance to bring in AJ Minter, that'll be helpful. And Lovelady will be the guy who's kind of cut out here. Now, Lovelady, he's had some good areas. He's gotten people to chase. He's gotten people to whiff. He gets people to ground ball really well. And the extension, being a bigger guy, is very, very good. But outside of that, it's really not a whole lot of great or even good numbers. So I understand why fans are kind of against this. Now, when we look at Ben Rortvedt, he's someone who, again, it's pretty simple with Rortvedt. He was just never really finding a pathway to this team. There's enough catchers on this team in general. But Brian Hudson's an interesting one. The 6'8" pitcher who the Mets did acquire. Actually, I mean, he was better than Richard Lovelady. He wasn't much better. He still had a 4.80 ERA, but career regular season in 65 games has a 2.83 with 88 strikeouts and 86 innings. He had 19 strikeouts to 15 innings when he did appear in spring training for the Mets as well. So I am a little bit surprised that they didn't go with him. I kind of expected it to be Lovelady, even though I was a bigger fan of Brian Hudson myself. So I am definitely interested to see how it all goes. Now with Jared Young, I'm happy they went with him over Vidal Brujan. Brujan didn't really have a good spring training, last season was not really good either. So I'm not too concerned. Honestly, I'm thrilled about Jared Young. I'm not thrilled about Richard Lovelady. I would have preferred for it to be Brian Hudson because I think he does have more potential. But guys, where are you with me on this? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe very quickly if you are still here as well. Also turn on post notifications. But very quickly, it is opening day for the New York Mets, as a lot of you, is basically all you know right now. Obviously, it is a super, super, super exciting day to be, in general, a baseball fan overall. And I do want to say, over this offseason, I mean, some of you, if you were subscribed a long time ago, may remember me from around a year ago this time last year, where I was around here. I usually am screaming about the Knicks on Knicks Digest, but I did step in here, and you guys have been welcoming me with open arms to Mets Digest. It's been a really, really fun time doing this. I am not going anywhere. Me and Christina are going to be sticking around this channel, having a whole lot of fun. I just want to say thank you guys, because, I mean, we're hitting the day where, I mean, how could you not be romantic about baseball? So I just wanted to give you guys a huge shout out and thank you. I feel like I don't really ever talk about myself. I talk about my personal life a lot on Nick's Stars. I'm like, hey, look, it's my bedroom. Like all that stuff, all that stupid stuff that I do. But I just want to say thank you. Shout out to all you guys for being excellent supporters of Mets Digest. We are closing in on 7,000 subscribers. We are going to start doing TikToks as well, which is going to be a really good time. We'll post them on YouTube Shorts as well. But really, all this, it's way too long. I just want to say thank you for all the love. It really means a lot. It's like anytime I just read the comments and it's like, good take, Chris. I like your opinion. I'm just like, wow, like it feels better. It's not like something where I check my phone. I'm like, whatever. Like I stand there for a second. I'm like, Wow, it feels really good. You guys have been awesome. I appreciate you guys so much. I cannot wait to go to 1,000,000 Mets games this year. If you see me at a Mets game, please say hi. I'll be happy to talk about the Mets for as long as you want. Obviously, I love doing this. And I love all you guys for subscribing or just watching, even if you're not subscribed. But also, subscribe to the damn channel, man. Please. It'd be nice of you. Have a great day. Go Mets.